In one of Saturday's Open quarterfinals, we see an undefeated Revolver team facing a tough Bravo squad that fought its way through the quarterfinal play-in game.
Bravo's Brett Kolinek throws a nice dump over Parker Krug's defender. Parker gets his pivot and unleashes a great-looking forehand to an open Clark Bishop, who brings in the goal with two hands to make it 5-4 Bravo. Revolver's Tom James pivots with the disc until he puts a nice soft scooper over his defender's shoulder to Robbie Cahill coming underneath. Cahill takes a look upfield and jacks a perfect forehand down the line to a wide-open Josh Wiseman to tie it up at 5s.
Stephen Reese earns a gainer and finds Ryan Farrell going up line with a short forehand. Rodrigo Valdivia gives his defender a nice juke, and Farrell delivers a forehand for the Bravo goal to get within 2 late in the second half. Robbie Cahill gets the disc underneath, and after letting things develop downfield, he uncorks a huge forehand. Almost fittingly, it's headed for ex-Bravo stud Bo Kittredge, who runs it down for the goal, the 15-13 win, and a Dayton semis. In another quarterfinal, we see unbeaten Chain Lightning against defending champs Jam. And in the first half, Tommy Hendrickson had this spectacular layout D.
Jam's D-line has the disc, and they switch the field from John Remicall to Dan Goldman to Kevin Buchanan. Buchanan sends a leading backhand into the hands of Alan Tho for the break to make it 7-5 Chain.
World Games gold medalist Bart Watson breaks free up the line and continues to Dan Hodges in the corner of the end zone to make it 7-6 Chain.
Paul Vandenberg of Chain likes the look of Dylan Tennell's deep cut and steps out as he launches a big floating backhand. Despite a foul in the throw, Dylan is able to make the grab look easy, and he's just outside the end zone. AJ Tiersmith is uncovered, and Tennell feeds in the disc for the 8-6 halftime advantage. Chain's Josh Zipperstein has the disc and does well to keep his mark moving until he finds Asa Wilson coming underneath. Wilson, just 10 yards outside the end zone, sneaks this forehand up the line to Zipperstein, who shows great awareness as he toes the line for the goal. 14-9 Chain. Jam wouldn't go down without a fight, however. Justin Safdie hits Brian Garcia for a gainer, and Garcia immediately sends this gem of a forehand huck to a streaking Ron Kubulanza for the goal. 14-10 Chain.
Though the first half was close, Chain asserted themselves in the second half. Here we have AJ Tiersmith coming underneath, and he fights through a foul to get the disc to Dylan Tennell. Dylan waits for a cut to the corner of the end zone to unfold and connects with Asa Wilson for the 15-10 win and another semis berth. Another quarterfinal featured Boston's Ironside and North Carolina's Ring of Fire.
Ironside's Jim Foster catches the huck from Jeff Graham just outside the end zone. After a few pivots, Jacob Goldstein gets the dump, and after a few counts of looking into the end zone, he swings, but it's brought back on a call. When it's back in, Goldstein hits Jeff Graham, who quickly puts it into the end zone for a goal to Danny Clark. Ironside up, 9-5.
A nice upline cut leads to a great-looking left-handed layout grab, followed by a piercing break mark forehand, which is given right back. Then a hammer is thrown hard across the end zone to Ken Porter, who has to make yet another nasty layout catch for the goal. 11-8 Ironside. Captain Jeff Graham of Ironside receives the dump and quickly steps out and sends this forehand into the end zone to Peter Pryl for the goal. Ironside would go on to win 15-11 and find themselves in the semifinals for the second year in a row. In the first Open semifinal, we see Revolver up against Sockeye. Early in the first half, Nick Schlag pipes a huge forehand into the end zone that's fading away from his receiver, Mark Sherwood. Showing great open field speed, Sherwood chases down the throw and lays out in the back corner of the end zone for an awesome grab to tie it up at 1. Here we see some nice flow from the Revolver offense as we see Sherwood send a nice break up to Mac Taylor. After a few pivots and a look upfield, Mac flips it up to Cassidy Rasmussen, who swings it out to Robbie Cahill on the sideline. Cahill quickly jacks a low and fast forehand down the line to a speedy Bo Kittredge, who slides for the grab. 2-all. For Sockeye, we see Ben Wiggins switching the field to Adam Holt, who makes no mistake as he unleashes a big backhand headed for the end zone. However, Mark Sherwood gets a great line to the disc and gets the huge D for Revolver. Revolver gets the disc off the line with a nice dump and swing to Bo, who continues to Eric Halverson. A quick step out, and this precise forehand huck is put perfectly out in front of John Levy for the goal. Here we see Sockeye hucking to Ryan Seguin, but it's in the air long enough for Matt Rader to catch up to it and make the catch instead. Both players end up on the ground, and Seguin is slow to get up, but it's a Sockeye goal to tie it at 7s. Tim Garrett hits Ray Ilian coming across the field, and Ray takes a look-up field and quickly rips a long forehand into the end zone. Joe Sefton gets good position and skies for the Sockeye goal, and the great play feeds the Fish's intensity. Revolver's Robbie Cahill takes a look upfield and sees Bo headed for the end zone. The huck decision is a no-brainer, and it's a beauty as Bo slides for the clap catch. Revolver would go on to coast to a resounding 15-10 victory and the opportunity at a club title in Sunday's finals. In one open semi, we see 2 and 3 seeds overall, Chain Lightning and Ironside, battle for a spot in Sunday's finals. With a huge target like Colin Mahoney going deep, it's usually an easy decision to let it fly, and up goes this backhand headed for the end zone. Zip does well to get as close as he does, but Mahoney pulls it down with 2 hands to tie it up early at 2-all, and Ironside is fired up. Soon after, we see Paul Vandenberg of Chain let loose a huck of his own. The disc hangs over the end zone, but Josh Zipperstein does everything right as he boxes his defender out and easily reels in the goal. Chain up, 5-4. On the ensuing point, a leading pass up the line intended for Trey Katzenbach is just out of reach, but Ironside's Jim Foster makes a great heads-up play to pick up the garbage with a nice layout grab to tie things up at 5 apiece. After a swing out to World Games gold medalist Dylan Tennell, he takes a look upfield and puts a perfect forehand over the top to a wide-open John Kid Hammond for the Chain goal and an 8-6 lead going into halftime. In the beginning of the second half, Josh Cricket Marquette hits Zip coming underneath on the sideline. Zip continues it up the line to A.J. T.R. Smith, who lets things develop before sending this forehand blade into the end zone. Dylan Tennell goes up and over Colin Mahoney for this big-time grab to put Chain up 9-6. Ironside's Jacob Goldstein throws a surgical I.O. forehand to Josh McCarthy on the break side. He quickly puts this sweet forehand huck to Jeff Graham, who finds himself in the end zone for the Ironside goal to make it 10-8 Chain. Here we have Boston's Sam Rosenthal breaking the mark, and it's a bit far out in front, but Jacob Goldstein makes a filthy layout grab to keep it alive. Jacob immediately sneaks this backhand around the mark and into the end zone to Ryan Todd that brings it to 12-10 Chain. Late in the second half, Chain's Robert White dumps to Peter Dempsey, who sees White's defender face guarding and puts a nice blade up and over for the Chain goal. Chain would go on to win on D, 15-11. What's that spell? Not ATL, that spells finals.